life. It's great.
My dad was always like, growing up, he always told me, I'm so impressed that you can remember like 13 dances. And I'm like, I don't really remember them. Like, honestly, I'm not thinking about anything when I'm dancing. I'm just so in my own little zone. And it's a really cool feeling because no matter what's going on around me, it's my moment.
I think one of the biggest things that inspires me to dance is not only that spirit of growth, so you can see yourself going from like, oh, I can do like a few things, to seeing those things become better or learning new things based on those, but also being able to connect with other people and having such a wonderful outlet that is passion filled, that is freeing, that is a creativity outlet to share with other people and have them have the same experience.
You grew and developed with not the same group of people, but majority same group of people for 4 years, for me at least. They've become like a second family, and everyone's their own little family. So obviously Breakers are my Breakers Familia, Eagle Bunga has my own family there, and Pack has its own group of people that I still keep in touch with. So it is a sense of loss because, you know, it's like camaraderie. These are people that you dance with. You've all suffered together. You've all triumphed together. In that sense, yeah, it's kind of also bittersweet.
My mom, I learned that she actually danced as a young when she was like my age. And I just thought, wow, she kind of passed that on to me. What I've noticed, like growing up with like in Filipino families, when we go to like restaurants and like celebrate events like birthdays, weddings. I mean, of course, weddings there's going to be dancing, but like even birthdays, like for like older people, like we would just be in a restaurant, have like this own little space for yourself, and there was always time for dancing.
The Indian culture is a dancing culture. The dancing I do, though, is not just limited to Bollywood. I also break dance, which goes along with hip-hop dancing, dabbled in contemporary modern, stuff like that. So the fact that I have Western influences that kind of collide with the Eastern ones definitely have conflict, and my parents don't really understand that. Slash the culture doesn't really understand that. They'll just think I'm more Americanized in that sense. So it was a battle with like self-identity in that sense. But when it gets like down to the end of the day, they know I'm a dancer and I just love dancing. So if that just means I'll express myself differently, then they know that too.
Breaking was one of the foundational forms of hip-hop, and hip-hop in itself largely came from Black and African American culture, as well as a lot of Hispanic cultures in New York. And so for me to kind of connect with that ancestry, there's a lot of issues going on with race and culture and things that divide us, but it's so cool to see something that came from my people that has spread internationally, and people of all kinds of cultures are doing it. And it's really cool to see at any kind of event that includes people from different countries who speak different languages. A lot of people don't speak the same language, but they speak the language of dance. And so you can not have a conversation with somebody verbally, but you have a conversation like with your body. And that's so amazing to me.
She wrote me a little note and said she loved being in our own little world when we were on stage together. And I think that's a lot of what it is dancing with her, is that, you know, everything just kind of melts away. I don't feel like I'm in a crowd or on a stage with a bunch of people watching me. It's just me and her, and it's really nice to get to spend that like intimate time with her. That it's, you know, it's 2.5 minutes sometimes, but it feels like it could go on forever because you're just alone.
To be in a relationship with somebody is just really special anyway, but then to be able to share dancing with them, which is something that's already really important to me and important to him as well. It's really intimate in a way because we're expressing these emotions to each other and we're not even saying anything, and we're interacting with each other, and we're just sharing this really special moment. And I mean, you forget that like other people are watching you dance, honestly. It's so cool.
Dancing is my release. It's the best way for me to release whatever emotion I have, even though I'm still struggling with kind of how to portray certain emotions. But yeah, it's kind of what anchors me down. It's something that I can control by myself. Ultimately, it's up to me how I execute it. So I think it's always been there as a form of release or just a sense of comfort.
For me, like I tend to internalize things, but then there comes a point where I have to let it out in some way, shape, or form. And sometimes music gives me that, but not to the full extent that like I feel like my body's compelling me to just release that frustration. So then dance just kind of releases it for me, like this kind of catharsis.
I had my car was on, and I started blasting music from my speakers. This is like very late at night, like no one was around, and I just started dancing like on the top of the parking deck. And that experience was the definition of catharsis to me. And so after that, even though like again it didn't make all the things go away, it made me feel like I was able to handle it.
Alright. So Adam, you want to keep going? Want to keep going?
Sure.
Alright, one more song.
One more song?
One more song.
I was afraid I was going to pose. I saw it showing up, like it's just a matter of.
But what will he choose though? It was a really good day,
Mr. Sun came up and he smiled at me. Said it's gonna be a good one, just wait and see.